Fun fact about me, Emperor's New Groove is my favorite movie of all time, and Yzma is my favorite Disney villain. It's a film that's been with me my whole life. My family loves it, I even enjoyed the sequel. It's an absolute classic that I've loved my whole life long, and was definitely a work that kickstarted my endless love for animation. There is no other Disney film like this, and there will perhaps never be one like it again, not from its conception to its final form. Its animation, directed by Mark Dindal, is flowing and endearing, but is uniquely snappy and quick when it comes to its abundant humor. For another look at his influence, Cats Don't Dance has it in spades. He was the perfect guy to take the reins on this film because, yeah, this is one of, if not the funniest Disney film to ever exist.
We have to get back to the palace, find the lab, and change him back.
Hi there.
That was him.
Whoops.
It is endlessly hilarious, one of those works where every joke hits one after the other, and the fourth wall is constantly and routinely thrown out the window. It really is something to be seen to be believed. Endlessly endearing, fun, and quotable, which may be the funniest part of all. Because this movie never had a script. Wait, what?
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
That can't be true, right? It's impossible. How could they have even finished this movie without one of the most important parts of a film production pipeline? What did they tell the actors? Were they just making it up? Well, yeah, they did. To explain this whole thing, we have to go back to the late 90s, back when Disney was developing a film called Kingdom of the Sun. It was an ambitious, grand epic set in ancient Peru with magic, potions, a prince and the pauper switcheroo, Eartha Kitt being Eartha Kitt, and songs written by renowned British musician Sting. It was being developed just after the high point of the Disney Renaissance, big, timeless musical films that changed the industry forever. Their films around 97 and 98 were starting to deviate from the typical grand musical format. Comedy and action were becoming the more prevalent genres, and Kingdom of the Sun was caught right in the crossfire. Eisner and other viewers during their first screening were unimpressed with what they saw. The story was too cluttered, it was unoriginal, its pacing was all over the place, so they had to start over. And after going through 6 new outlines, the crew sat with bated breath until they finally announced the story would be rehauled. Mark Dindal became the solo director, and with the fragments of what they once had, with all the new ideas brought to the table, Kingdom of the Sun was reincarnated into Emperor's New Groove. That's the long story short. I'm actually not going to delve much into Kingdom of the Sun itself. I like the idea on paper, but I think it was a good decision to scrap it. If you want to know more about it, go watch The Sweatbox, a documentary made about the film's production from start to finish. It's an incredibly insightful watch if you love Emperor's New Groove and animation. Also, seeing footage of Tom Jones singing Perfect World in the booth had me going off!
Oh yeah! He's the sovereign lord of the nation. He's the hippest cat in creation. He's the alpha, the omega, A to Z. And this perfect world will stem around his every little whim. Cause his perfect world begins and ends with, what's his name? Kuzco! That's his name. He's the king of the world. Is he hippo what? Yeah.
This documentary has never been released officially. I'm actually unsure of why Disney wants to bury it. Sure, it's got some curse words, but just censor those. Yes, production had some bigger than average roadblocks, but they still made a film. They did it! It's an honest, realistic, yet hopeful and fun look at a studio pipeline that's not afraid to keep in the details of what they sacrificed. It's about filmmaking itself, the heartache and the joy. Why they'd want to hide such an intimate look at art is beyond me. So, the most important thing about this whole debacle is that when Kingdom was scrapped, they only had a year and a half to finish what they started. A year and a half. I don't know about you all, but that's dire. Taking the remnants of what worked on Kingdom, the setting, some plot points, and a few characters, they retooled and simplified everything to make things more cohesive and understandable. It wasn't without some grief, though. For example, lead animator Andreas Deja and Eartha Kitt herself both couldn't help but feel a sense of loss from the simplification of Yzma's character.
For Yzma, she is not a dominating figure anymore. She's almost a minor character. She is not somebody who's driven by vanity and wants her youth back. and she'll just be less in the movie. And somebody who is so driven by vanity and this whole thing about this obsession with youth, to me was absolutely fascinating. It's very painful because you throw your heart and soul into these assignments, you know.
I think the Yzma that Raja wrote was more profound. She was with a more sense of native intelligence and wanting to have the glamour of her beauty back, and she always wanted to live to be beautiful and never die.
Now, there are two ways of going about the story of an animated work. There's script-driven and storyboard-driven. For example, most of Nickelodeon's cartoons are script-driven, meaning the script is written first, then they board everything out. Board-driven means that storyboards are done first, which are used to guide the final script. Pretty self-explanatory. Cartoon Network shows mostly fall under this category. For both Kingdom and Groove, a board-driven approach was taken, giving the artists more freedom over the final story. When this method is done, a script is then eventually written, but, that didn't happen for this film. Well, what about Kingdom?
The only problem was they hadn't really settled on a script. I was writing songs in the dark, really, based on sort of hearsay of what the film was going to be. There was no hard script. So I'm having to second guess what sort of characters they're inventing, because I'm inventing characters as well. You know?
Oh. So what the heck did they do instead? Here's how it worked. Artists pitched their boards and writers pitched their ideas, and from that they formed scenes, characters, some dialogue exchanges, and a general story outline. And guys, this quickly became a movie where joke ideas became final. Whatever made them laugh got in. Some of these notable pitches that made the cut were the dinner scene, the trampoline salesman gag, and Kronk jump roping with Pacha's kids. After reaching more progress, they'd take feedback and go back to individual work, and the cycle would repeat. One of these sort of silly back and forths led to the creation of Kronk, who made the writers laugh so much with his unique dynamic to the film that he finally got added. During recording sessions, writers would pitch lines to the director, who would relay them to the cast. Artists would animate those lines, and their shots would get inked and colored digitally, and all the other pipeline stuff would be pipelining all over the place until they finally had a complete movie. It released in 2000, everything was going smoothly, until an archives guy knocked on screenwriter David Reynolds' door. Quote, "The movie's out and a guy knocks on my office door and says, 'Are you Dave Reynolds? I'm from Archives. I just need the final script for Emperor's New Groove.' They didn't send one down." I go, "What's that?" He goes, "The final script, the whole final script." I go, "No script." He goes, "There's no script. What are you talking about?" I go, "We don't have a script. We never wrote a script. We just made the movie." He goes, "You've got to have a script. Archives has to have a script." I don't know what to tell you. Tell them to go see the movie. It's in theaters right now. He goes, "You guys don't have bound pages?" I go, "Nope, we have no bound pages. There's 3 or 4 legal boxes. You can have all you want. I saw them the other day." They had a couple interns take all the pages and put them into a document, and then they wrote interstitials and slapped my name on it. This is the honest-to-God truth. The first and only draft of The Emperor's New Groove was handed in 2 weeks after the movie was in theaters. End quote. So, there you have it. This entire movie was made with a ton of notes and boards in chronological order. A movie that quickly adopted an anything goes mentality. Gone was ambiance, gone was a grand ethereal tone. In its place was a story that didn't take itself seriously one bit, carefree and serendipitous. Comedy and heart was what came first before anything else. It gave people the chance to get personal with their sense of humor, to laugh and have fun and brainstorm with a bunch of like-minded goofballs. Even though Kingdom of the Sun sounded interesting, and I would kill a man to see the snuff out the light sequence in its entirety, I can't put into words how grateful I am for the film we got. Never have I seen a film that is so slapdash with its development and that approach being beneficial more than. It's a miracle that this movie got made. Through its abnormal production, it became something greater than the sum of its parts. Admittedly greater than a grand epic. A black sheep or llama in the Disney lineup I will always and forever cherish. Because this perfect world began and ended with them. The writers, musicians, artists, and actors who all came together as a crew to bring their own unique sense of fun. The ones who gave us a timeless new groove. Thank you for watching, and hail Kuzco! Ha! A boom, baby. Call me Britney Spears because, oops, I did it again. I made a video to plague your timeline with. You're welcome. But thank you again so much for watching. This film means so much to me. It was a favorite for me as a child, and growing up, I just absolutely loved it. Every scene, every character is just absolutely perfect. If you have not seen this movie, what the heck? What are you doing here? Go watch it. It's literally amazing. I hope everything that I said got you in the door. If you have, then I hope this gave you a greater appreciation for the film, as it did for me when I was making this. I had no idea for the longest time that this was the truth, that it had no script. So I'm very glad I get to, make this and share this cursed, blessed knowledge with all of you. So absolutely wonderful. Since this is a more factual video, I'm going to try and put all of my sources somewhere in the description. Might take me a day or two to do that, but yeah, if you can think of anything that I may have gotten wrong, or, maybe even some extra blurbs of, some fun facts you have, feel free to leave them in the comments. Feel free to comment your favorite line from the movie. I know there's so many good ones. Kronk's New Groove is a good movie. You all are just mean. The opening song is a bop. I listen to it like all the time. True to Your Groove is an absolute banger. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. This was made for a final for my animation class, animation history class. So if you guys are watching this, hi! Hello, it's my voice and all that. So yeah, goodbye. Woo!